Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lisa, just show that City Manager Zelenik is out today. Oh, and Chief Vogel also emailed me, and he will not be here this evening. We'll move on to the approval of City Council minutes, July 8th, 2019. Councilmember Kivel.
On page 5, it's kind of incidental, but toward the bottom of that last paragraph, it says to consider purchase of lease or real property. It should be lease or of real property. That's all I had. Thank you.
I'll move the minutes.
I'll second.
Any further discussion on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. We have no bills this evening, so we'll move on to the approval of the agenda.
Move the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. At this time, we will open the floor for public comment. Members of the public may speak at a city council meeting upon recognition by the mayor. Public comment may only occur during periods designated on the agenda for public comment or a public hearing. A person may speak for up to 2 minutes during each of the 2 public comment periods on the agenda items or non-agenda items. Waivers of the time requirement may only be granted in the discretion of the mayor, and waivers to speak at a time other than designated comment period may only be granted by the council. Any person wishing to make a presentation longer than 2 minutes or requiring audio-visual equipment is asked to contact the city clerk requesting to appear on a future agenda. Please also remember to state your name and address.
Good evening. Ryan Lair, 716 Grand Court, South Lyon, Michigan. Hi, residents and council. Tonight I'd like to announce my candidacy for mayor of South Lyon. I'm a 19 resident of South Lyon and I'm 40 years of age. I have been to almost every council meeting for 19 years. I'd be honored to have you vote for me as your mayor. No person running for mayor comes before the residents and citizens and seniors in South Lyon, and I will work for you day and night to make sure all your needs and concerns are met. I am very grateful to the residents and friends I've had the pleasure of making over my past 2 decades of public service volunteering in the community. I am very grateful. And last, I'd like to thank Mary Parisian for her encouraging the citizens to run for council. Your voice was heard, and I'm here to answer the call to serve. Thank you, and good evening to South Lyon, and I wish my opponent the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
At this time, we'll close public comment, and we'll move on to the discussion of downtown report and second draft business survey. Mr. Donahue.
Alrighty. Hello, everybody. If you have any questions about the downtown report, Paul put that in your packet. A couple things, updates. As far as the Veterans Monument goes, it's getting very exciting down to crunch time. We've had about $40,000 worth of in-kind contributions, services, labor donated. And so we're anticipating, although it's not final, having actual agreements with each of the contributors. And between now and September 1st, we hope to have those agreements in place and come up with a construction schedule. And so our the last thing that we're working on is the contribution / purchase, whatever ratio that is, of the concrete. So we're pretty excited. So we'll just have more to report on that very soon. Very soon. And if all goes well, we would have a dedication on Veterans Day, November 11th.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the survey. You received a copy of the survey in your packet. The second draft, again, that was done after the work group, according to the timeline. We had to boost a couple weeks, add a couple weeks on the timeline because of vacations and the 4th of July holiday. So if you look at the timeline, you can see that between July and August, we will get back on track so that September 1st, it still goes out. So we should be fine. I'd really like to thank the work group, though, and especially Amber King, who's here tonight. And Amber, if you could come up for any questions, please. But we had a great work group. We met at 2 different times. Amber was there both times that we met. Paul Zelenak. We had Herb. I always say Herb Superb. Herb Stricker from Superb Fabricating. So we had an industrial owner. And then we had restaurant owner, Corey Bela. We had Annie Butchtrup as a retailer. And somebody else was there. Oh, we had a developer, our most active person, Ron Borgman, helping us out too. So, and then last July 17th, we met again, and Amber and Paul and I went through everything, all the comments, all the work group input, and came up with the second draft. And many questions, and Amber was instrumental in all that. I might tell you quickly that Amber has a background in that. Amber, do you want to speak to your background in surveys?
Good evening, Council. Yeah, this is what I do for a living. I've been doing survey research for over 20 years now, so I was glad to be able to help with this. If you guys have any questions at all about the survey, I'd be happy to answer.
Councilmember Walton, go ahead.
I don't have any questions. I just want to thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Councilmember Kennedy, please.
And Bob, I appreciate you revising the timeline and schedule as we discussed earlier today. So right now, you're looking for the feedback from the council on July 31st, right? You're looking for emails back on that? Anybody has any comments on any bills there?
Yes.
Okay,
July 31st.
great, thank you.
Councilmember Kibble.
Just a quick one. I think that the consolidation of information here, it'll be easier to garner the metrics. It'll be very, very evident about directions of things. So I think that that's really helpful.
I'll just say really quickly that Amber was instrumental in us getting the direction for the Cable Commission and doing surveys for us very similar. So thank you. Definitely appreciated.
Sure.
Councilmember Parisian.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I love the direction and the progress that we're making with this. Thank you so much. And also be sure to express our gratitude to the working group.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, any more comments? I had a couple of my own.
Go ahead, Bob.
I think it has to also be kind of a grabber graphically, something that catches the eye. So we will have a graphic, and I'll share that with council too. It's not going to be that you won't hear it again or not see it again until it's all said and done. We'll share the final format that will be on the that will be available for people to fill out.
Awesome.
So we'll share that.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
The only thing I wanted to add was that what we aim to do is take the questions that were already being asked, try to consolidate some, make them as, choose a response below rather than open ends. Those are hard for people to fill out, and they're hard to evaluate on the back end as well. So that was something we were trying to do, and we also want to have it online so that when businesses and owners fill it out, they can just do it at their home, online, anonymously, or if they want to return it to City Hall, that's another option. And yeah, so if there are any questions or concerns.
Councilmember Parisian, go ahead.
I can't remember. It's a common thing nowadays. I can't remember whether or not we talked about this, but are we doing this annually? Or is it every 6 months? Or, once we have this worked out and we're good to go, I would hate to see it just happen once and not happen again.
I mean, there hasn't been discussion. I personally think it would be a good thing to do it annually.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, city manager, it's his call.
Okay,
But I would be all in favor of it annually.
perfect. Okay, just kind of getting a feel for it.
Sure.
I'd love to see that as well. Thanks.
Great. Anyone else with anything?
I got a question.
Councilman Richards, go ahead.
Bob, different subject. Thank you, Amber. Okay. Since the last planning commission meeting, have you had discussion with the new owners of 135 Lake Street?
Yes, I have.
I hope they're having plans to continue the facade work on the exterior of the building, okay, at this time. They've certainly got plenty of time to do so if they want to, and they also have time to appeal the decision, of course.
I think everything, from what I know, I can't speak for anybody because I don't have a vote, but
Yeah.
I think that all of the details have been addressed. I have talked to the architect and the owner. I know the owner has responded. A new drawing has been submitted. In fact, the planner has reviewed that. And there were some tweaks made, and not a lot of changes, but I think it is, in fact, slightly better than it was before. So with input, I think the only question that came up last time is to maintain a business-friendly atmosphere. It's good to be on the survey. Is what is the role of the Planning Commission and where does that end and how do we move forward? And I think we've addressed all that. I think the city manager acted promptly after the last meeting, and I think August 8th should be wonderful.
Okay, I hope we can get a copy. I'd like to see a copy of the architect's.
It's in. If you'd like a copy, come on in. It's a public record.
Just didn't get a chance to see it a minute of this.
I think it's exciting.
I think it's
My
very
personal
important.
opinion is it's exciting.
Yeah, it is. You're absolutely right. It's very important to,
Yes.
as a key anchor in the community of the CBD. Yeah. That's it.
Thank you, Councilman Richards. Anyone else with anything for Mr. Donahue tonight? Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
At this point, we'll move on to the budget this evening. Does anyone have anything for the budget? Okay. We do have the manager's report. Everyone got a copy of that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the city manager didn't leave me any special instruction or anything to pass along. I
Okay.
think his
Fantastic.
report will speak for itself.
Okay, so then we will move on to our second public comment this evening. If anyone would like to take an opportunity to speak, the floor is open. Okay, we will close public comment, and we're coming right back to you, Chief Sovic.
I see that we got a new sign coming into South Lyon up there on Pontiac Shore on 11 Mile, so that looks really nice, the new sign and the stone posts. Also, if you follow us on Facebook, you'll see that we have a design for a new police patch, and I can say that none of us at the police department have any really artistic ability, so we thought we have 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 followers, let's put it out to them and see what they think. So we had about 17 submissions, and the one that just kind of blew us away by a South Lyon East student, Dominic Albanus, and apparently he's going to be studying creative art in Detroit for the next couple of years, but he submitted a design that just kind of blew us away, so we're just kind of tweaking some things with some colors, but we're going to be bringing him into a city council meeting and recognizing him for the design and just tell you a little bit about the design. But a couple of factors we were looking for, and he nailed it pretty hard, so we're pretty pleased that it's going to be coming in the near future. So that's it for me.
Yeah, that was a great job and a great idea on your guys' part, putting that out to the community. Chief Vogel is absent tonight, but he did leave comments with Councilmember Kennedy. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I spoke with Rob earlier today. He asked me to pass along a couple of messages this evening. First, the firefighters will be going door to door in the South Lyon Woods mobile home community tomorrow, offering free smoke detectors to the residents. They'll start the process at 10 o'clock. The firefighters will install and test the units right on the spot. So to the residents of that community, if you see them in the area, feel free to stop them and request one for your home if they haven't come to your door yet. Secondly, the chief asked me to remind residents that this Friday, July 26th, the fire department will have a spray park set up for the kids in the Whipple Street parking lot across from the firehouse. And that event will start at 11 o'clock in the morning, so bring the kids and cool off for the day. That's everything you had to pass along.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to council comments, and why don't you go ahead and kick us off with that, too?
Okay. Just a couple of additional notes here from a council standpoint. First, this week is the fourth Wednesday of the month, and the Lake Street Cruise-In will be held from 6:30 to 9:30 on July 24th. This will be followed by the all-day Lake Street Motor Fest, which will be held on Saturday, July 27th, from 11 o'clock to 5 p.m. The Magic Bus will be playing in the band shell, so make plans now to come out this Saturday for a great time. Bring the family. That's everything I have this evening, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Kennedy. Councilmember Richards?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few brief ones here. Can you all see this from the cameras and such? This is our latest flyer about Depot Day coming up. It's one of the best ones we ever put out, the Historical Society, okay? And you see Connie Wickersham, or contact her. She's the chief contact person for organizing and getting a rental space available at Depot Day, coming up September 7th this year. Moving on to the regular stuff, our new ice cream, number one, our new ice cream parlor between Bakery and Third Monk is coming along slowly, but it's in progress. We're going to get a new business there. Number two, the British Swim School appears to be open and ready for business and operating. I've been by there a couple of times and looked in. Okay, number three, the tube mill is back up to full production. The hot mill being turned back up. It takes 3 days to fire the furnaces when the gas has been off for a while, okay, and they always usually have a little bit of extended time after the 2-week shutdown period, which is an annual thing. But anyway, they're back to full production, and that's a good thing. Okay, number four, our DPW, just General He, has been knocking down victories that we seldom hear about, but I notice a few of them. There's no point in going into any individual ones. Through this spell of extreme heat and stormy weather, and our hats are off to them, okay? Number five, the drilling has started on our new well site in McCaddy Park, number 4. Yeah, it's next to number 4. It may be named number 7 when it's completed. I don't know. I thought they might go back to number 3, which they eliminated, but we'll see what happens. This is the first day of a 2-week project. A building will also come a little bit later after the drilling. There's going to be a brick building, as I understand it. I managed to get a few pictures, and I hope to get a few more. Quite something to see. And I got some pictures of the actual stainless steel casing that goes on the inside with the threads. And that's something you'll never see again, believe me. Anyway, with that, Mr. Mayor, that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Councilmember Richards. Councilmember Walton?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only thing I have to say tonight is something that I read online today, and I really wanted to bring it out, was that there are 4 million 17-year-olds that will turn 18 before our November election. So if you're 17 and a half now, you can register to vote, and you can be part of that election in November. And remember that you don't want to miss the opportunity to play a role in electing your city leaders, but also a smaller election is a nice way to get your feet wet before a big election, so you have an idea of what's happening at the polls, how it's worked out, and also your vote is your voice. So get out there and vote. Get out and register if you're 17 and a half. That's all I have to say. Have a good night.
Very nice reminder, Councilmember Walton. Councilmember Parisian?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't really have anything tonight. Thank you for listening, or thank you for watching. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Councilmember Parisian. Councilmember Kurtzwell?
Yes, I'm going to start out on a sort of a little bit of a serious topic. I just want to thank all the families in town that have invited me to their children's or young adults' graduation parties. I've had a great time. I've enjoyed listening to their careers, their aspirations, where they want to go with their life. Coming from a little bit of an academic background, I've enjoyed sitting down and listening to the classes they're going to be taking and taking an interest in their careers. I will not go to a graduation party where there's alcohol being served with young adults. So I want to make sure that for me, that's a value system that I have myself. And I think that when you have young adults that are out there trying to get their lives together, I just don't feel comfortable being around a graduation party where young adults who are under the age of drinking are provided with alcohol even though the parents are there. So that's my value system. I'm glad I hang on to it. And I think the reason I feel so strongly about that is I was over in Novi District Court, and I guess criminal charges are starting to come down with respect to the New Year's Eve party that occurred at our former Chief Collins residence on New Year's Eve. And you have young lives that are going to be affected by these criminal charges. I don't know if there are more coming, but these are lives that are young and with a lot of potential down the road. Please don't ruin it for yourself. So stay away from the alcohol if you are underage. Next, as to the individual that is designing the patch for the police department, I think that the individual might be going to the Center for Creative Studies. Center for Creative Studies, to have a resident of the city of South Lyon, a young creative individual, to be accepted into that art school is an absolute unbelievable feat to obtain. It is probably one of the top art schools in the world. It is just known for absolutely brilliant artists, and I can't commend this young individual who got accepted into that school. I wish him a lot of luck. I also want to remind everybody about the Cruise In and the Motor Fest. The sponsors for tonight are Stone Depot Landscape Supplies. Everybody who knows me knows that I have a Stone Depot truck in front of my house at least 5 times in the summer. Superb Fabricating, LLC, what a great guy. Herb is just doing so much for the city of South Lyon. Thank you so much. Coral Sash, every closet needs something from Coral Sash. Vanguard Motor Sales out of Plymouth, Wixom Towing out of Wixom. And we have to really thank Mary Poole over at Lake Street Tavern for everything Mary has done to help with the cruise-in, for providing host sites. She's just been absolutely phenomenal. Speaking about sponsors, if you are out there in Lyon Township, Green Oak, Salem, please remember that the city of South Lyon is your downtown too, and many of you have veterans in your communities. A lot of communities have businesses that donate to events that they are having. It would be great if someone from Green Oak and Lyon Township, Salem Township, if you could get with our Economic Development Director, Bob Donahue, and please pull some money together to help with this Veterans Monument. Please help with this Veterans Monument. We need sponsors. We need donations. Donations and sponsors make a difference in a community. Look at the sponsors for the Lake Street Cruise-In. What a difference this organization has made in our downtown. So please, let's get the word out. Let's try to get some more donations so we can have a great memorial monument here in our city. DPW, I also have to commend Mr. Richards for acknowledging our hardworking DPW workers. I've been over in their facility, and there is no way that their kitchen and their lunchroom was sufficient in order to help them stay out of the heat from last week. That facility over there needs tremendous rehabbing, and I just hope that we're able to do it in the next couple of years. These men are just working in this extreme heat, and they've got another big week coming up as everybody comes into town for Wednesday night, and of course with Motorfest on Saturday. So please, with the DPW workers, would you please give them a wave? Please thank them when you can. These men work outside. They do not have cover. They don't have an air-conditioned car. They don't have a nice office or a building to come into, and they are working extremely hard. Congratulations for a new candidate running for mayor, Mr. Lair. Haven't been around much, so I guess I'm out of the loop a little bit on some of the news. I will announce also that I am also running for re-election, and my campaign's been with me since January. So I want to thank everybody that's been with me and sort of held things together while I've been in and out of town throughout the summer. So good luck to everybody who's going to be running. The only thing I always tell people is stay positive when you are out there on the campaign trail. And anybody who needs any help, I will help you as much as I can. So if you need any help in terms of campaign finance, it's best to learn it early rather than to learn it late. So congratulations to everybody who's going to be filing and running, and let's have a good spirited campaign season. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Kurtzwell. Councilmember Kibble.
Chief Silva had brought up the idea of the entrance sign at 11 Mile. I just wanted to thank Lisa, the city clerk, for for organizing all that stuff, investigating contractors and people like that. And for DPW, as soon as it was complete, they ended up getting mulch over there and doubling the thing up. So it's really nice to come in at a little bit more organized fashion at that light, or as you're sitting at the light. I also wanted to thank DPW Director Doug Varney and the DPW for their attentive care to the flower baskets under this unbelievable heat. It's just remarkable how beautiful everything has stayed down there. They also had done some maintenance on those Stelladora lilies that are at the base of the brick wall for the Wells Street parking lot, and it really looks sharp after their cleanup in there. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the Wednesday car show, the Friday concert in the Witches Hat Gazebo, and Motorfest on Saturday, that we have beautiful weather, the same weather we're enjoying today. So if that all works out, we're going to have one very happy week. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Kivel. Really quickly, I just hope everyone had time to enjoy the 50th anniversary of the moon landing last Saturday. That's an event that not only united America, it united the world. And those are incredibly rare events. Between that and the Lake Placid Olympic Games, when they figure out time travel, those will be my first two stops. So, again, the car show Saturday, it's going to be great. If you missed it last year, you got to be there this year. It's going to be a great day to be downtown. So I would encourage you to be there as long as you're around town. So with that, I'll look for a motion to adjourn tonight.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have a great night, all.